What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Horror Tuesday, episode 40. So we are 10 away from 50. I'm your host, Nadia, but you can call me Nads. If you could please do me a favor before we get into topics and everything, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I am on the way to 1K, and I am so close to it, so I appreciate everybody's support. And if you're in the chat, please do me a favor as well. Share out the stream with your fellow horror nerds to join in on some fun topics. So today we've got some fun things to talk about. We've got the Blumhouse layoffs. We've got Fangoria's Chainsaw Awards voting, which with the chat, we're going to be voting. We've got the Resident Evil, some updated news on that. I Know What You Did Last Summer as well. And yeah. Oh, and some werewolf news. But with that, I just want to ask, how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing on this fine Tuesday? It feels like it's already been a week. Is Cindy so close too? Oh man, I hope Cindy gets there as well. I really do. Oh, let me put the chat up on the screen because here we go. Hi, Mindless Meat. I haven't seen you before. Nice to meet you. Justin as well. Yo. Peepers, as always. What's going on? Rachel, my girl, how are you? I'm excited. Rachel is going to be joining on the Institute this Thursday. So, some news before we get into topics. Okay. There's a little bit of turnaround with this week with Stranger Things Season 5's trailer being released tomorrow. Excuse me. So, with that being said, tomorrow won't be a members chat and game. I'm going to try to fit it somewhere, or it might still be depending on how late we go. But the guys and I will be discussing and live reacting to the Stranger Things trailer that will be released tomorrow. The poster was officially released today, so that should be a blast. And we're back Thursday. We will be Friday. We'll be discussing the Upside Down rewatch with season 3's finale, and then we'll be leading into season 4. Before we get into season 5, we're going to have a Stranger Things Deadpool. So this will be fun. People will be able to, I guess, enter it. I don't know how a Deadpool works, but I will research it and we will figure it out. We'll dive into some theories as well. And we're going to tier some characters lists in between season 4 and season 5. So Stranger Things will not be going away. We will be continuing all the way until the premiere of season 5. And then during season 5, we will be breaking down the episodes per week as well. So that is just the change this week. The Institute starts on Thursday. I've got a great panel for that. If you haven't read that Stephen King book before, don't worry about it. The show apparently has added a little bit of elements from the book, but so far has kind of gone off the rails with its own thing. So we will be covering that every Thursday for this season, and then we'll probably be leading into Welcome to Derry. I am seeing I Know What You Did Last Summer's requel. It's not like a traditional reboot, but it's not a sequel. Or it's kind of. So it's like a requel. Anyway, I'm seeing it Saturday. I'll be discussing it on Tuesday. I've got some thoughts. So it'll be pretty interesting on that one. So with that, I wanted to share some news before we get into the Fangoria thing, because I'm going to put up some polls and we'll get through it. What up, Terrace? What's going on, my guy? I hope I didn't nuke Julie's stream. Oh, sorry about that, Katie. Okay. So I am a fan of Robert Eggers. I like pretty much all of his movies. I liked Nosferatu. I gave like a pretty good review on it, praising it and stuff. I think it's a gothic story. It's not so much a scary. I mean, it has scary moments, but I think a lot of people were going and expecting it to be some kind of like major vampire movies. But, oh no, Bobby, I'm sorry. We're talking about movies and then we're going to be doing some voting. So stick around. So Aaron Taylor Johnson and Lily Rose Depp is set to star in Robert Eggers' Werwolf. I hope I said that right. Aaron is actually going to be playing the werewolf. And Lily Rose Depp is set to play as his wife throughout it. So it's described as a werewolf horror film set in the 13th century England. If you've ever seen Brotherhood of the Wolf, that's the kind of vibes I'm getting. It's set to feature Old English dialogue, which I'm sure people will have patience for. The film will first announced in January 2025. Will release following the release of Edgar's last film, Nosferatu. And by the way, in between this, he's also doing The Labyrinth. So he co-wrote this. He's co-writing this with frequent collaborator. I have no idea. The Northman will be producing alongside him. So again, Taylor's going to be playing the werewolf with Depp Star to portray his wife. The script reportedly features elements of witchcraft, which makes sense for the era that they're going to be shooting for, and describes as one of Edgar's goriest projects to date. I take that with a grain of salt because Nosferatu was supposed to be his scariest film to date. It's scary. There are scary elements to it. But again, I think it's more of a gothic tale. So this is pretty exciting. I'm going to stay up on the news on this one and see. Again, I like most of his films. I think I would say Nosferatu is probably my favorite, followed by The Witch, Northman, and The Lighthouse is a fucking trip, folks. The Lighthouse is weird, very weird. Like mermaid. How do I say this? YouTube, don't ding me. Mermaid, vajayjays. Mermaid vajayjays. All just imagery of mermaid vajayjays throughout the lighthouse. The lighthouse is a particular taste of film. I just want to say that. So, if you have never watched any of Edgar's films, I would highly recommend you start with The Witch. Maybe move towards Nosferatu, and then dabble in some Northman, and then dabble in The Lighthouse if you want. It has Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Leon always breaks me down for that. Miracouche sounds smelly. Very fishy. Very fishy. So that is happening, which is pretty interesting. I'm a werewolf. Werewolves are my favorite monsters. One of my favorite monsters. No, they're probably up there before vampires. Like, I'm Team Jacob, for sure. Mostly because Bella's very toxic and Edward just 100-plus-year-old vampire. You're going after like a 17-year-old? Red flag. So I'm definitely Team Jacob on this one. So we will see. I'm curious. What is everybody? Hold on. I'm going to put a poll up. Why did we talk Twilight? I don't know. How did this end up being a Twilight discussion for a second there? Mostly because I'm like, there's a ton of great werewolf movies, except for The Wolfman, and we all know how I feel about that. All right, hold on. Let me get a pull up. Let's see. Are you Team Edward, Team Jacob? There's no third option. You must vote. All right, there you go. Bobby, please. You should have seen her on the last chat. What is that supposed to mean, Rachel? What is that supposed to mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I was a complete angel over there. I'm probably never going to be invited back, but that's okay. I made my stamp. Oh, we've got Team Edward? Really? Y'all, come on. Or did I vote? No, I didn't. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, I did vote Team Edward on accident. Dang. Oh, Bobby. I hope you feel better, my friend. I hope you have a better day. I hope at least I'm making you laugh. That's what I'm here for. Yes, Coco. Hello. My cat, my dog, they want to be part of the show. I'm Team Blade. You know what? Fair enough. I would be Team Blade too. 100%. Okay. Okay. Let's talk. Okay. I think, how do I say this? I think the noise around I Know What You Did Last Summer is very weird, okay? Why I say this is because I've seen early reviews, and to be honest, I take them for a grain of salt. I sent an early review to one of my group chats, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, I don't know. He labeled himself a film critic. I guess if I labeled myself a film critic, I'm a film critic on my ex, but we all know I don't watch movies. I find it weird because the news around I Know What You Did Last Summer is not about the movie. It's not about the movie. It's literally about things that happen on the set. And that's fine. People are always curious about it. But I find that this is it's an interesting way to distract people, I think, in my opinion. Okay. And it doesn't give me hope for it. So let me pull up a couple of the things I saw on X, and then as an audience, we will go through this together. First off, Madeline Klein, who's in the movie, said, and I quote, and mind you, this is a real quote. I know what you did last summer, walked so Scream could run. Does anybody know why this is an issue? Just wondering. I just have a question for her. Who the fuck raised her? It is comments. I'm gonna stop you right there. The thread, yeah, it's Scream came out before I Know What You Did Last Summer. Actually, let's see. Hold on. Scream, I think it was 1996. Okay. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it was 19. It's got to be what year? Is it 97? So a year before? Yeah. Yeah. When I saw this, I nearly spit out what I was drinking. I'm like, what? Okay. All right. And also nobody corrected her. Like nobody. It just. So this is one news thing that came out about this movie. Okay. First of all, they threw their actress under the bus on this one. So this is one thing. Little red flag. Talk about the movie. Let's not talk about this. The second thing I saw. Chase-Sue Wonders accidentally called Freddie Prinze Jr. daddy on the set of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't think I've ever felt embarrassed. He played it off, though, and everybody started laughing. But for a second, I was like, no. Again, we're not talking about the movie. We're building buzz around it a little bit, but we're not actually building buzz around the movie itself. Makes me worry. Though I rewatched the original, and the original's a little rough. Jesus. I Know What You Did Last Summer came out first, starring Jennifer Lawrence, the first female actions. That was pretty good. It was pretty good. So, Sex on Set. That's normal, right? I don't think that it was in that context. I mean, he looks pretty good for his age. Look at him. Pretty ripped still. I don't know. I've never understood the fascination with him, especially younger, but maybe I'm just not that age bracket that, because 96, I was still like very, let's see, hold on. That's, I was around 9 years old, 10 maybe. And not my type. I don't know. So it makes me very worried about it. That brings me to and this is one of multiple reviews out there. I just wanted to share this. So, one box office expert, by the way, box office expert said, I Know What You Did Last Summer is one of the greatest legacy sequels with an excellent kills, thrilling pace, and a fantastic ensemble. Notable Love Hewitt and Prince Jr., who delivered some of the best parts of the movie. It's undeniably a perfect summer slasher. Avoid spoilers. Avoid spoilers as always. But if you've watched the original, you know the original. It's not. It's pulpy. Listen, I grew up. I love it. I love that. Scream, Idle Hand. That's the era of horror I grew up with. Not horror, but horror. Those movies, they have a place in my heart about it. I remember renting the VHS for I Know What You Did Last Summer. Enjoying it. I remember watching the sequel to it too, okay? When I was very young and probably too young to watch this kind of stuff. I get it and rewatched it. It's fun. But it's a no-brainer kind of thing. It's pretty obvious with the killer, I would say. You know what? Retract that from it. I will say, I think I Know What You Did Last Summer did better at the twist, but the twist didn't ever make sense. So spoilers alert for the 1997 one. The killer ended up being, okay, I had to explain this to my husband. So I wish I had like a board I could draw. Okay, you know what? I'll use this piece of paper. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the this is not anyway. Let me explain. So the premise of the movie is summer of July 4th. We've got Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ryan Phillippe, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. They are seniors. They're about to graduate, and they go, they're celebrating, about to go off to college and stuff like that. And then they accidentally run over a guy. Okay. Which, okay, could be what? Potential manslaughter, I guess, or something to that extent. I don't know the law, but whatever. Anyway, they then decide, instead of calling 911, to dispose of the body. When they are disposing of the body, the guy is actually still alive. So they actually do become murderers. There's a split second that they could have actually probably have saved him and somehow got him medical attention, but I digress. They're all murders. Fast forward to a year later, there's a killer that's sending him the messages of like, I know what you did last summer, because they all try to hide it and stuff. Their lives are they're shattered, okay? Jennifer Love Hewitt was supposed to go off to college. She's now this depressed, like you can tell her hair's greasy. There's no light in her eyes kind of deal. Sarah Michelle Gellar was supposed to go off to New York to be an actress. She actually ended up going and just coming back and working the family business. She's a shitty older sister, by the way. In this movie, Ryan Phillippe is the town rich boy who, doesn't have to do anything with his life. Involuntary vehicle homicide. Thank you. And then Freddie Prinze Jr. is the red herring of the story. They all think he's the killer. He has a weird relationship with the deceased sister, which I thought was weird, but I digress. Okay, so turns out the killer is the father of the girlfriend of the guy that they killed, who the girlfriend died 2 years beforehand in a car crash, and the deceased decided that the year of his girlfriend dying, he was going to jump off a cliff. That's what happened. He jumped off. They hit him with the car and then such. So it doesn't fucking make sense. It doesn't make sense why, because it's never really explained why the father of the girlfriend of the deceased, I need a board. I feel like that meme of Charlie Day of just like, there's connections and stuff. So that is so it's a weird twist. And I would say it's unexpected because it's not an obvious person you would think. So it just doesn't make sense. But that's the twist. I don't know what the twist is for this one. I'm actually seeing it Saturday. Tuesday, I'll be talking about it with Blue Collar. He'll be joining me for Horror Tuesdays, so we'll be talking about that. So that brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about with it, which was, where is it? Did I not? Here it is. This doesn't make sense. This thing just doesn't make sense. Okay. Everybody is up in a roar about Jennifer Love Hewitt's body. Okay. First of all, I believe she's 45. Okay. And Verbal Riot here said, there are people actually trashing Jennifer Love Hewitt because she's not 25 anymore, and a few more curves now at 46, which I believe she's had kids too. By the way, y'all still wouldn't have a shot with her. I agree with him. I don't know why this is a topic. I remember when this movie was in production for it, that she vocalized being hesitant of the fans of the franchise seeing her at this age because she's no longer the young, voluptuous Jennifer Love Hewitt from the 90s. And I think for 46, damn girl, she looks great. I honestly don't understand why people are up in the hoot about talking about her body and stuff. She's aged very gracefully. So Freddie got tied off from being accused and started killing. Yeah. Fun fact, I Know What You Did Last Summer is where Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar met, and they're married. So that's a fun fact. And they're still married to this day too. But I just don't understand why you gotta hate. Why you gotta hate? I hope I aged this well. This is great. She looks fantastic. That dress is showing off the curves the right way. So, again, distractible news from what could this movie be about? I don't know. I'll let you guys know on Tuesday. If you follow me on X, I'll probably post a really quick review of it once out of theater review. But I'm not hopeful. I think it's just working on nostalgia bait. I don't think it's actually working off of an actual decent script. But you know what? I could be completely wrong on that, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm willing to be. I hope I'm wrong. I am hopeful that I am wrong because I want a good movie. I don't want a crappy movie. All right. Moving on, we're going to talk about Resident Evil. I talked about this briefly on Leon's Countercast yesterday, but I wanted to bring this up too. So Resident Evil, Zach Kreger's movie, won't be a complete obedient to the video game lore. I've never played any of the Resident Evil games. I've only seen maybe the first 3 movies. I know there's quite a few of them. But Zach Kreger, I like this quote. I'm not a gigantic Resident Evil game. I'm sorry. I'm not. I am a gigantic Resident Evil game fan. I've played them all. I don't know how many times I've looped Resident Evil 4 again and again, and I just love it. I'm definitely not trying to be completely obedient to the lore of the games, Kreger tells Special Effects Magazine in the latest issue. I'm trying to tell a story that just feels authentic to the experience you get when you play the games. I don't know, guys. I know Resident Evil fans out there want a lore accurate, I don't understand. You take the game is in a sense a movie itself, and you put it on the screen, and people will be happy. That being said, I don't want to make a judgment call on this until I see Weapons. Zach Kreger is known for Barbarian. He's done a couple short things before that, but his breakout film was Barbarian. Don't count Companion. He was just a producer. They were just utilizing his name for the marketing. And I didn't like Companion anyway. So to me, Weapons is going to be his sophomore film. Okay. If Weapons does well, this guy's being paid, I think, close to $20 million to do this Resident Evil movie. I think having a horror director and a horror writer, which he is, tackle this could be good for the franchise. I mean, look at the movies that you've gotten in the last decade or so, right? They're, from what I'm told by actual Resident Evil fans, such as Leon, they're not really close to the games. And look at the Netflix Resident Evil. That was a monster that needed to put down. That was horrible. I myself watched it and I was like, what the fuck is this? So if he can capture maybe the essence of the games, right, in a Resident Evil world and be more horror instead of sci-fi action, our Resident Evil fans going to be happy. I mean, I think regardless, you can't make everybody happy, right? I can barely make everybody happy. I can barely make myself happy, let alone other people. You can't make everybody happy. But he's said that in this interview. He's like, I know people are going to be unhappy about this. And you could take it 2 ways. 1, they're setting you up for disappointment. Or 2, he's like, listen, I'm going to do the best I can. But I understand that people aren't going to always be happy about it. And I think a lot of this is going to be debatable by how Weapons turns out. Because Barbarian was a horror film. It had a gratuitous monster. It had pretty good twists. I would like to see a little bit more. So I'm curious to see where Weapons is going to go. I think Weapons might be the sleeper hit of the year. Mostly because, similar to Barbarian, if you watch the trailer for Barbarian and then you actually watch Barbarian, the trailer doesn't give you any context to what the 2 major twists in the movie are. So I'm hoping this is the same with Weapons. Weapons, we're kind of getting trailers that just show off scenes and you really don't know what's going on. You just know the main premise of the story of a classroom of kids that decide that they wake up one evening and they all disappear at the same time. Okay. And then we're getting weird visuals of people like stabbing themselves with forks in the face and like goo and stuff. So I'm curious to see what plays out. And I hope that's it. I don't want another trailer. I don't want to see another trailer. Keep your main storylines out of your trailers. What's up, Corey and Double Feature? I really hope Weapons is good. But again, I think Weapons will show me if he can do Resident Evil. Because that's a tall ask to being to take a franchise that's already had multiple movies, multiple redos onto it, get paid almost 20 million to do it, and see. And again, you're not gonna make everybody happy. Been trying to stay away from trailers. I think they've been doing a good job with them, not too much being given away. Yeah, and I love the weird website they created and stuff. I won't watch another trailer for any more trailers for Weapons. I'm hoping that's it. We might get one more teaser and that's it. But again, I like the way they marketed Barbarian. I like the fact that I didn't know anything going in based on the trailer. The trailer comes off as, oh, girl shows up at Airbnb, there's a random dude there, and then he gives off the vibes that he might be the killer. Perfect casting with Skarsgård in it too, right? And then I'm going to spoil Barbarian. Sorry, guys. If you haven't seen Barbarian, it's going to be the watch party movie this month with me, so we'll watch it together. But the spoiler is Skarsgård is actually just a normal dude. It's a creature known as Mother, who is like an incestual, like generational creature that's been born out of incest multiple times, that is like kidnapping people and treating people as their babies. It's very grotesque. There's a whole thing with Justin Long in it about him being almost him being Me Too'd, and it's like legit fat. It's just a lot. So I highly recommend Barbarian. Even with knowing the twist, it's a great watch. It has a great rewatch value to it. But I hope Weapons doesn't need. So I think Weapons will determine how well he is going to do Resident Evil. And with that, we're going to move on to our last topic before we get into the voting on that. And that's going to be, I think it's a bit of a nothing burger. But Blumhouse undergoes layoffs in film and television. I'm going to save everybody the time to read this. They only laid off 6 staffers out of the 100 employees that they have. Again, I don't wish upon anybody not having their jobs, right? I don't wish upon anybody losing their jobs. If you do your job well, I don't think you should be laid off. But this comes with the Blumhouse, with the underperformance of Megan 2.0, which, to be fair, Megan 2.0 came out the week before Jurassic Park, and then we got Superman following that. Ain't no way this Megan 2.0 was going to do well in the box office when you had that juggernaut. Regardless of what you think Jurassic Park Rebirth is as a film-wise, box office numbers don't lie. Dinosaurs get people's butts into seats. Megan 2.0 doesn't. It's just factor of the game. And now, by the way, yesterday it hit digital, unrated too. So if you want to see Megan 2.0, it did hit, I believe yesterday, digital, unrated too. This is sad, but I have a love-hate relationship with Blumhouse that they don't know about. Blumhouse, to me, used to be a name that you could trust in horror, and having the type of films I grew up in the 90s with, such as like Scream. I know what you did last summer. That kind of level of horror movies, okay? Where you knew going into the theater you were going to have a great time with it. And then, I don't know what happened. I still won't forgive him for Night Swim. What the fuck was that? Like, some movies shouldn't be expanded into. Woman in the Yard was great. On this channel, I actually interviewed the writer for it. It was great talking to him of like where the idea of the Woman in the Yard came from, and he was talking about it came from his depression and anxiety through some time. It was very good. But yeah, Blumhouse is very hit or miss, and to me it's more miss than anything. Wolfman, what the fuck was that? You had one job, Blumhouse. I think Invisible Man, while everybody's like, oh, it was great. Really? You all think it's great? And I don't mean you all, but most people think it's great because they point out the one scene at dinner where the sister gets her neck cut by a floating. That's the only scene people can seem to remember of it. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I just think it's a little bit overrated for what it is. But releasing Megan the same time as Superman, yeah, that means I don't think they had, even with a bigger budget, I don't think they had faith in it. And I will tell you, Megan was probably the most fun I've had in theaters in a long time. Is it a good story? Probably not. The first one wasn't good either, all right? But it was fun. It was catchy. It was, a fun popcorn film. You can turn your brain off and just enjoy it. But raves about the Wolfman. Don't you get me... Look, I raised my pen. Don't you get me started. For those that don't know, really quick, I saw The Wolfman a year before it was released. I was under review embargo for a year. I couldn't say anything of it. So when it came to Halloween Horror Nights that year, when they showed The Wolfman, and everybody's like, that's no way what it's going to look like in the movie. The fuck it is. Yes, it is. I couldn't say anything. And everybody's like, oh, The Wolfman's going to be great. Look at the trailer. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. That I saw that movie for free and I still wanted to walk out on it. Okay. The Wolfman holds a particular spot in my heart, the original, and the old black and white, and it is very iconic to me. And the fact that they went with some kind of like infection story, and Julia Gardner, I'm gonna see Fantastic Four. Julia Gardner has not had a decent role since Ozarks. Ozarks, she was phenomenal in it. I don't know what happened afterwards. I don't know if she just gave up. But she, like, the one thing I replied was like, is she supposed to be married with this dude? Because they don't come off as a married couple at all. There's no chemistry whatsoever. There's no scare. There's obvious jump scares. Thank you, Rachel. You started me off. The Wolfman, skip it. Don't even look at the poster. Don't even look at a trailer. Fuck that movie. And I'll tell you right now, 11:59 when the review embargo lifted, I was like, this movie. I think I had a whole stream on it. I was so mad about it. But that's Blumhouse. And again, I won't forgive them for Night Swim. I can't. I wanted to drown myself halfway through watching Night Swim. That's how bad that movie is. But as Double Feature points out, they do have hits. They do. The Purge. They have a ton of hits back in the day. And like I said, Woman in the Yard was pretty good. I think it's just, I hate to say it, like Blumhouse fatigue. Nowadays, when people say, oh, it's done by Flumhouse, that's a good one, Flumhouse. When it's done by Blumhouse, half the time in my little group, they're like, ugh, Blumhouse, jeez, I'm out. That's not good with your audience. And I get it. They're trying to do more cash grab type of movies. And they're aiming it towards younger generations. And I get it. But sometimes you got to slow down and look at the quality of films and movies you're putting out, and maybe take a breather, take a step back, look at some scripts, put some money into some movies instead of these fast turnarounds. Because look at Megan 2.0. Again, Megan 2.0, I highly recommend. It was a lot of fun. It's a fun popcorn film. There's a lot there. I was giggling through it the whole time. It's not that deep. It's not gonna win an Oscar, but it might win a Fangoria Chainsaw Award. So, yeah. So I don't know why the Wolfman always seems to come back and haunt me. I don't know why. It's because Rachel always reminds me of it. So with that, we're going to get into voting. So give me a second to get this set up. Let's see. Team Edward won. Boo. Okay. All right. So, all right. So we are going to vote together. And I know there's a little bit of a delay from StreamYard to YouTube. So I will give it like a couple beats and stuff. So feel free to type in your votes in there. I am a capitalist. So if you are strong about a certain vote, feel free to super chat it. No pressure. But as most people, I will not say no to money. Money will sway my vote. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to start with, before you get started, please review the instruction plan. You do not have to vote in every category. You can select didn't watch or skip. 1 ballot per person. Please duplicate votes. Invalid email address will be disqualified. Only humans are allowed to vote. Sorry, bots. Get started below to cast your vote. Polls will close. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, what is my... Oh, hold on. I don't want to talk to myself. Give me a second. I remove that. Sorry. I know. Everybody... okay. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Here we go. All right. Best wide release movie. We've got 28 Years Later, Final Destination Bloodlines, Longlegs, Sinner, The Substance, Bring Her Back, Heretic, Nosferatu, Strange Darlings, and Ugly Stepsister. The only one on this list I have not seen is Ugly Stepsister. What's up, Brandon? You just missed my Resident Evil rant. I was like saying that if Zach can do weapons really well, I think he can handle Resident Evil. And Leon and I were talking about you yesterday. I think Leon wants to have you on Countercast in the future to talk about Resident Evil. So there you go. What's up, my friend? All right. Out of this list, and don't everybody type at once. What is everyone's favorite movie out of this? This is hard. This is a hard start, I will say. I really liked Sinners. I really liked The Substance. I really liked Bring Her Back, Heretic, Nosferatu, Strange Darlings. 28 years later, I Can Take or Leave, or Final Destination, Bloodlines. Sinners would be, I was just watching it earlier. Substance, I Want to Be Pretty. Yeah. I'd say Nosferatu. Oh, I like... What movie has good rewatch value to it? I feel like Nosferatu, you got to be in a mood for it, right? Heretic's really good too if you haven't seen it. Bring Her Back. But I think the underdog on this list is Strange Darlings, which I'm kind of leaning toward. I really enjoyed Strange Darling. Really did. So I don't know. Some good picks. Oof. And Sinners, though. Sinners is just a beautiful movie. Just like Nosferatu. It's just I look at it and I'm just in awe. Nosferatu by a hair. The ending of Sinners was a bit more confusing than it needed to be. That's fair. That's fair. I think I would want it a little bit more vampires, maybe. But it's still good. I think. But Nosferatu. Alright. I think Strange Darling was a fun one. Intense, right? Yeah. That was a pretty good one. I'm gonna go with Nosferatu. The reason why is I love Sinners, Substance, Strange Darlings. Last year, I think for me, the top two were Nosferatu and Strange Darlings. I think I would rewatch Sinners and Nosferatu, but the gothic aesthetic of Nosferatu is kind of in line with a little bit more what I like. But I do love Southern tales, and especially if you're going to add vampires into it and use. I love historic history, using horror into it too. This is a hard one. All right, I think we're going to go with Nosferatu. Okay, I think we're going to go with Nosferatu. Next. Best limited released. Azrael, Freaky Tales, Little Bites, Frankie Frico, Get Away, Didn't Skip. It's great, but the two villains, Remy and the vampire, isn't terrifying, and the Grand Wizard is the only two scenes with no real presence. Fair. I think I'm more distracted of the fact of how beautifully it's shot, Sinners, and the fact that we don't get a lot of how do I say it? We don't get a lot of like Southern horror movies. Yes, we have Interview with the Vampire and such, but we don't get a lot of like horror movies that the first half to me depicts is just like a historic movie, right? We're depicting the South at that time. And then you add the vampires into it. And I love the fact that we use Irish vampires because Irish people too. So I would say I can understand, but that's Nosferatu 2 is it? Okay. All right. Anyway, I only heard of Azrael. I called it Asriel. I did not like it at all. I don't even think I finished it. I haven't seen any of these. So I think this is a don't skip because I'm not giving it to Asriel. It was really... I didn't like it. It was just not... I could not get into it. All right. Best streaming premiere. We've got Best Wishes to All, Gazer. There's a Zombie Outside, Cannibal Mukbang, and Mr. Crockett. The only one I've seen on this list is Mr. Crockett. Was not bad, but I think it under-delivered. Like, there was potential there to be a very, very dark story, very, like, and I think it didn't allow its time to breathe out a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Crockett on this one because it's the only one I've seen, but Little Bites was good as well. I'm gonna have to see that one as well. So all right, next. Best international movie. Jesus. Okay. Cuckoo. Sorry, May. Oddity, The Ugly Stepsister, Dangerous Animals, and Red Rooms. Yes, May. What do you think? Do you want to tell the people what you think? What do you think? Mr. Crockett is on Hulu. It's a Hulu exclusive. I have a lot of problems with Cuckoo. I think Cuckoo was trying to tell two stories that didn't mix very well. So by the time you got to the twist, you're like, where the fuck did this come from? So I think it was trying too hard to tell two stories. Oddity, snooze fest, in my opinion. Pretty cool effects. But everybody's like, it's the scariest movie. I didn't find it scary. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't find it scary. Ugly Stepsister, I have yet to see. I'm hearing good things. Dangerous Animals is pretty good. Red Rooms is pretty good. So I'm stuck between those two. But I will not vote. I would rewatch Oddity before I watch Cuckoo again. It's just a hot mess. It was just a hot mess. Acting. It had Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens is kind of like acting bacon for a horror. You just add Dan Stevens to a movie, and usually it's amplified. But he was in two movies last year that I did. Yes, May. That I did not like, which was Cuckoo and Abigail. I never got the hype over Abigail. I didn't get it. I got it. Vampires. It just, there was no really good chemistry amongst the cast, in my opinion. Love Oddity. Ugh, double feature. I need to get you on to talk about horror movies. Because I always love talking to people who love the horror movies that I did not care for. Because I want to know your reasonings why. And maybe it might change my perspective on it. But yeah, Oddity to me had one cool part is when she dropped her phone and she looked down and the thing was staring right back up at her. That was creepy. That made me jump. Other than that, I thought it was a very predictable story. I haven't seen any of these. All right, I think I'm going to go with Dangerous Animals on this one. Best first feature. Best Wishes to All, Cannibal Mukbang, Ugly Stepsister, Blink Twice, and Mr. Crockett. Well, I've only seen two on this list, which is Blink Twice and Mr. Crockett. I think Blink Twice, or AKA the Diddy story, allegedly, and Mr. Crockett. I would probably prefer Mr. Crockett to watch again over Blink Twice. So I think I am going to go with Mr. Crockett on that one and take a drink break. By the way, you can vote yourself too, and I just realized I probably should have dropped that in the chat as well, so give me 1 second and I will drop that in the chat. If you decide you want to vote later, there you are. Okay, close that. I think I'm going with Mr. Crockett in this one. Well, let's get to this. Okay, best lead. Whoa. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Mr. Crockett, like I said, good potential. I wanted something a little bit darker. I wanted something like, is it They or Them on Amazon, but the season 2 is pretty dark. I kind of wanted something a little bit like that. Just a tiny bit. Maybe just expand a little bit more. So, best lead performance. We have Lily Rose Depp as Nosferatu. Sally Hawkins is in Bring Her Back. Micaiah Monroe, Longlegs, Leah Murin, The Ugly Stepsister, Naomi Scott, Smile 2. Oh, that's a pretty good one. Smile 2 I didn't like, but I did like her performance on it. Willa Fitzgerald, Strange Darlings. Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Oof, but he's playing twice, too. Demi Moore, The Substance, Hunter Schafer as Cuckoo, or Sophie Thatcher, Companion. This is hard. Okay. Let's go by... I'm not going to vote for Lily Rose, though I think her performance was very good. Micaiah either. Longlegs, I really liked it after I got out of theaters, but I haven't really reached to watch it again, and it's kind of fizzled out for me. I haven't seen The Ugly Stepsister. Sally Hawkinson's performance in Bring Her Back makes Bring Her Back. It is a it's just like it pulls in different ways. You either are sympathetic towards her, or you just want her to be completely thrown off the face of the planet. So Naomi Scott, made Smile 2. Smile 2 to me is a rehash of the first one, just on a bigger budget. I think the first 10 minutes of Smile 2 is the best part. That is just my opinion on it. Other than that, I didn't find it new or refreshing on it. I think Smile is a really great movie. Practical effects, I love it. But, however, Naomi Scott's performance in Smile 2 is just on a different level. Willa Fitzgerald's okay in Strange Darlings. Again, I like Strange Darlings. I don't know if I would say she is better than Michael B. Jordan or Demi Moore or Naomi Scott or Sally Hawkins. Michael B. Jordan's good in Sinners, but I wanted more, right? I wanted a little bit more of the brothers. I wanted a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more into their history of it. I don't know. And he did a phenomenal job playing two different characters that obviously were distinctly different too. But Demi Moore, I think I'm going with Demi Moore, The Substance. The Substance to me is not, I don't like body horror. I've never liked body horror. I've got a couple, like The Fly, I'll give it because to me it's a tragic love story. But The Substance, I was told to go watch by a couple girlfriends. They're like, if you're a woman, you should probably watch this. I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. The Substance to me gutted me. I thought it is not only about the beauty standard in Hollywood. I think it's just a beauty standard overall. And it's, women's fears of aging too, right? I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about how Jennifer Love Hewitt was like, I'm worried that fans are going to think I'm like this still tiny little bombshell. But I mean, at 46, she looks fucking fire. I think Jordan's combination of acting two different characters as well, not having himself to set a balanced dialogue off, really shows that he can command performance all by himself. That is true. But I think I like Demi a little bit more. Because I think Demi really... Not that Michael didn't throw himself into it. I'm going with Demi on this one. This is so hard. All right, we're going with Demi. Okay. Best supporting performance. We've got Nicolas Cage, Long Legs, Ruffians, 28 years later. I really love how his character passed cigarettes back and forth at the beginning just to sell off. So I rewatched Sinners this morning. And when I saw it in theaters, that particular scene a little bit bugged me, just on a technical level, because I could obviously see the CGI. I don't know with the digital release if they just cleaned it up a little bit better, but it looks a little bit more realistic in the digital release versus when I first saw it in theaters. It took me out a little bit, but having worked on films for so long and stuff, I'm always looking at it from a technical eye. It's just something that, especially when it comes to special effects, I'm always looking for like seams and stuff like that. So I can't change who I am. Sorry. All right. David Johnson, Johnson. Ooh, that's pretty good. Alien Romulus. How far back are we going with this, guys? Jack O'Connell, Sinners. Bill Skarsgård, Nosferatu. Why is he best supporting? Wouldn't he be... Okay, Michael Kenton, Sinners. Hugh Grant, Heretic. I know I'm going to butcher her name, but I think she did a fan of... is it One Me from Sinners? Margaret from The Substance, and Dan Stevens from Cuckoo. All right, well, Dan's out. I like David, but I think there's stronger performance here. So David's out. Miles is pretty good too, isn't? I think, right? I think that's his first role ever. Yeah. That's a pretty good breaking out role. Nicolas Cage, Long Legs, he's not in it long, but for me, I felt like, hey, we paint Nicolas Cage, just act like yourself, dude. Don't worry about it. I should go with either the two vampires. Skarsgård's fantastic, but has a lot of his performance in effects. O'Connell is charming and evil. O'Connell's really good. He took me out from 28 years later. Ralph kind of disappointed me. Not because he's not a strong actor. I think he gave a very good performance in 28 years later. I was just expecting more of a mad doctor, and I didn't expect to have... He's basically the heart of the movie, right? He's the sympathy, the empathy that humanity has. And I was expecting a little bit crazier. Nick Cage is a national fucking treasure. You know what movies I haven't seen, which Chris is like, we have to fix this weekend. I've never seen Con Air, and I haven't seen The Rock, which was Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, which I told him we'll do a double feature for. Okay. I think Margaret's out because I think there's stronger ones. Ooh, Hugh Grant was a surprise. It's a very creepy old man. O'Connell? I'm stuck between David O'Connell and Miles and Margaret. Not Margaret. Hugh. I don't know if I could really describe Cage Porn as good or not, but it definitely was memorable. Yeah. I think we're going to go with Jack O'Connell. The reason why I say this is that I have had nightmares of the type of vampire he is. To me, he is a true vampire in that film. The long nails, the teeth, the the want to conform people. And I can hear my husband in the other room like, what the fuck? It might be Jack. Oh, but Miles is really good too. Miles, I think, is the heart of Sinners. He is like, he was a we're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be here all day. All right, I'm going with Jack. I think that's a safe bet. Okay, best director: Danny Boyle, Robert Edgar, Osgood Perkins, Ryan Coogler, or Coralie Fargeet. This is a hard one. Off the bat, we're not doing Danny Boyle. I didn't like 28 Years Later. I've got a lot of problems with that movie. And Osgood Perkins, if you ever read his Ask Me Anything Reddit, your idea of Oz will change. Oz doesn't even like doing horror movies. He's just good at them. So I'm like, you don't have the passion for them, but you like them. And he's very classist. He's very much like, I think fans were asking him questions. He's like, like he wasn't engaging with fans. I don't even think he likes his fans. So he's out off the bat. I don't even care about his new movie coming out. I will see it, but I saw The Monkey and I'm like, what are you doing? So to me, it's Eggers, Coralie, and Coogler. I'm going to remove Coogler from this. We're going to go down to Eggers and Coralie. I like Sinners. I want to see more of Ryan Coogler that is not attached to Marvel. I want him to have full reign, and I want to see more of what he can do without studios being attached to him. So I think he's out. Coralie, she's great at shooting butts. I'm going with Eggers here because I personally like Eggers' style. Again, I did a rant about his movies earlier on the stream. It's just my vibe. I like his movies. I'm excited for Werwolf or whatever. I think he has a very good eye for wide shots, and to me, his movies look like paintings. That's what they look like. Or you get mermaid coochie. But Coogler, yeah, I want to see more from him. Coralie, yeah, good if you, butts. We're gonna go with Nosferatu. All right, best screenplay: Heretic, The Substance, Strange Darlings, Sinners, or Bring Her Back. Wow, this is hard. They did not make this easy. All right. I think I'm leaning towards Heretic in this one. The monologues in Heretic are just chilling. Heretic to me scared me when I saw it. Why? Because the idea of what would happen in the afterlife, is there an afterlife and stuff, that's just an Achilles heel for me. It's just so good. Sinners is good. I will give you that double feature. For him, kind of, I want to see more of him. I want to see him do stuff that's a little bit more indie, that doesn't have big studio presence into it. So, Bring Her Back is really good as a sophomore film for the boys, but I like Talk to Me a little bit better. Strange Darlings I love, and I think JT Mulner is doing something else coming up that I'm just like, okay, I'm pretty okay with this. What is he doing that's coming up? Upcoming works. Let's see. Upcoming. I thought he might have his hat in for Texas Chainsaw, maybe. Or maybe not. I'll have to look into it. Okay. I think I'm going to go with Heretic on this one, just based off the monologues and just the direct directorial like direction of this with the screenplay. I think it's a flawless screenplay because it flows very well, and again the monologue. So we're gonna go with Heretic on this one. This is so hard. Best cinematography. We've got Sinners, Nosferatu, 28 years later, Long Legs, and Substance. It's got to be between Nosferatu and Sinners. Earlier today when watching Sinners, the whole time I'm like, oh, that's a great shot. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, the colors here are so good. But Nosferatu is same thing too. This is so hard. No, Nosferatu, again, it's like a painting, right? But Sinners has vibrant colors used very well throughout the whole color palette of Sinners is just so good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Sinners. We're gonna go with Sinners on that one. It's just there's the opening shot where it's the church and it's like a triangle, and you see Miles like walk up to it, and it's just a wide shot with his car on the left, and it's the ending of the movie told reverse and stuff. And I just look at it and I pause it and I'm like, I don't know what it is about it, but the vibrance of the green in the back contrast with the white, and just like it just looks so beautifully done. And then throughout the movie, it's just everything, all the colors have a reason of what it's used for in people's wardrobe, and just the lighting, they perfectly lit. They know how to light their nights, which is a huge issue for me with other movies. So yeah, we're going with Sinners on that one. Okay. Best score. It's got to be Sinners. Nosferatu is good, but I'd probably put on Sinners probably more than anything to play in the background. 28 years later gives me a little bit of anxiety when listening to the score of it. Substance is okay. Long Legs, I think I'm gonna have to go with Sinners on that one too. I think best score, we're gonna go with Sinners. All right. Best. Why? This is so hard. Best costume design. We've got Sinners, Ugly Stepsisters, The Substance, Nosferatu, and Maxine. Man, this is a hard one. This is so hard. I haven't seen Ugly Stepsisters. Okay, Sinners is really good. We talked about the color palettes. Costumes are great. The Substance uses its wardrobe for the storytelling in the movie. Nosferatu, it's pretty traditional to the time period it is. It looks perfect. And then Maxine is pretty good because it's I didn't like Maxine as a movie, but the costume design for the 80s is pretty good. Pretty on par. So I'm stuck again between Sinners, Substance, and Nosferatu. And I'm kind of leaning towards the Substance only because while the costume design for Sinners and Nosferatu, beautifully done, period piece accurate, great. The Substance, again, utilizes its costumes for the story. Like there's a tone of the colors that they choose for it. Sinners and Nosferatu does it. Well, not so much Nosferatu. Nosferatu, not so much because it's just being a period piece traditionally to it. So Sinners and Substance. Sinners and Substance. I'm probably going to go with Sinners again. Okay. All right. So this is my jam. Best makeup effects. For those of you that don't know, I worked in special effects for 13 years. I was trained by the best of the best. And it's my jam. So we've got Long Legs, 28 years later, Nosferatu, Terrifier 3, that's funny, The Substance. Long Legs is pretty good for the special effects of Nicolas Cage's face prosthetics, but that's about it as the memorable from that movie. 28 years later, we've got Running Zombies. Nosferatu is mostly Bill Skarsgård's huge transformation. Terrifier 3, we've got the gore, the practical effects throughout it. The Substance, though, if anybody watched The Substance and watched that needle being poked into the spine of the pustule, like pusses that come out with no seams, by the way, I could tell throughout it. So to me, this is going to be, I agree with you, Brandon. Well, Terrifier 3 probably is the most, has the most and the most creative. There's a difference between being, so I was taught there's a difference between doing gore effects where realistically, you can kind of just throw blood on it and you call it a day, right? And I'm not downplaying it. It's a lot of hard work. And then my teachers used to tell me, you master it when you can do realistic stuff. When you can do like a realistic nose on someone, when you can do realistic wounds on people and stuff like that. And it actually looks real versus something like Terrifier where, you know, guys like sawing up somebody's butt and the cheeks are splitting and stuff like that, right? And the gore in Terrifier is very good. I'm not downplaying the gore. You got to remember, I like Terrifier 3 was fun. I liked half of Terrifier 2. Could care less of Terrifier 1. Excited to see what the next one is. I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights and they announced there's a Terrifier house. So this is going to be fun. Art the Clown is a memorable character. Like he will be up there with Jason and Michael and all that stuff. Pennywise. But there's a difference between practical effects gore, which again, my bread and butter, love doing it, versus doing realistic gore, like realism, like where it could really happen in our world, right? And all I can think of is the constant spine wound that Demi had, where it was infected the whole time, and it had pus around it, and it just looked so realistic that I was just so impressed by it. Granted, the most like throw up moment in the Substance, I think, is when he's eating crawfish, I think. I'm going with the Substance on this one. This is a hard pick, but I'm going with the Substance on this one. All right. Best creature effects. So we've got the Oddity, the Substance, Alien Romulus, Smile 2, and Werewolves. Ooh. Okay. I'm going with Werewolves on this one. Why? Not only did I get to interview Stephen Miller, which is the video that's highlighted on the channel, I got to know a little bit more. Each werewolf has a different personality and different like aesthetic to them. And I love seeing when big creatures like that have practical effects done to it. Smile 2, okay. I like the Smile 1 design of it's a little too expanded with Smile 2. I don't know. I just don't like it. Alien Romulus, are we talking about the humanoid baby at the end that took everything out of the movie, that ruined the movie in a sense? I like Romulus, as most people will make fun of me for. I actually like Romulus just a tad more than Aliens. Not that Aliens is a bad movie. Aliens is a great movie. It's a great sci-fi action movie. I love Alien more because it's more about the horror of space. And to me, Romulus kind of tends to lean more to the horror than the action. And thus I like it just a tad more. Again, not saying Aliens is a bad movie. Aliens is probably close to being a perfect movie. It's up there with Jaws and Jurassic Park and such. I get it. But for my particular taste, I like horror a little bit more. Thus, I like the first one. The first one's like gold to me. And I like Romulus just a tad more. And that being said, the third act of Romulus took me out. It took out most people with the baby humanoid thing. Oddity, that's a cool creature design, but I don't think it's very memorable. Substance, I like. While old school Demi is pretty cool, I kind of lean that more towards special effects, not creature design effects. Large scale puppets and Alien Romulus, yeah. I'm going with Werewolves on this one. I'm biased. I sent the link to everybody. Please vote. Please do. I'll link it in the description below too. If you are watching this on the replay and you want to vote yourself, please do. Everybody has particular taste. If we all like the same thing, life would be so boring. So boring. I don't like to be in an echo chamber. I like to have people who have different opinions than me, and I want to know why. And if we don't agree, that's fine. But we all like different things. And Werewolves to me is a particular reason why is I love that creature. I love seeing the creature design. It reminds me of American Werewolf. And I haven't seen a werewolf movie done that well since Dog Soldier. So I'm going with Werewolves on this one. All right. Best documentary feature. Doc of Chucky, In Search of Darkness, Susanna, the Queen of Black Magic, George Romero's Resident Evil. I wonder who did that one. J-Horror Virus. For those of you in the chat that don't know this, George Romero's Resident Evil documentary was done by a gentleman named Brandon, who's typing right now in the chat. So please, I have a live interview with Leon and Brandon on the channel too about this documentary. It is a really good documentary. If you're a Resident Evil fan, or if you're George Romero fan, or you're a fan of films and just wanting to know the history behind things, go watch it. It's really good. It's really good, honestly. I am, again, a Resident Evil fan in the sense of the movies, so I don't have that much knowledge. So I learned so much from it. So I highly recommend it on it. What's up, Zax? So for that being, and plus he's in the chat. I can't vote anywhere way else. No, I'm kidding. I would vote for it anyway. I've seen Doc of Chucky. It's okay. In Search of Darkness, J-Horror Virus, I haven't seen, or Susanna. So George Romero's Resident Evil on it too. Let me Romero, even some old Romero, or aged. Shouldn't you be on vacation, first of all? All right, best nonfiction series or miniseries. So we have Dragula, Last Drive-In with Joe Bob, Horus Greatest, and Sanguli. I'm going to save everybody some time. It's going to be The Last Drive-In. Double feature, you got it. If you're a George Romero, again, if you're just a fan of film, it is so interesting. I learned things I didn't even know was happening back then. So highly recommend it. Best series: The Creep Tapes, The Last of Us, Yellow Jackets, From, and Squid Games. Oof. Creep Tapes are out because I haven't seen it. I have so many issues with The Last of Us. I'm in the gym at the hotel. Getting your swole on. It is now streaming for free on YouTube. That is awesome. Mods, can anybody find it on YouTube to drop it in the chat? George Romero's Resident Evil. I really love Squid Games. Did you like season 3 though? That's the question. I loved season 1 of Squid Games. I think they should have stopped there. I don't think we needed a continuous of it. Last of Us was a very big disappointment with season 2. I say this by, and I covered it on the channel, and the panel, and some of the panelists are in the chat, and they know. I tried to steer away from making fun of Bella Ramsey because I wanted, thank you, Zax. I wanted to judge this on its merit of writing. Okay, and I have never played the game, so I've seen the first season, and I really loved it. Time out. We've got GraphWeb for $2. Wait, is it for fuck's sake? Yeah, for fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus. I hope I did that right. Okay, for that, thank you for the $2, my friend. Let's see, what do I got? I haven't played. Let's go with.
Und schmeiß ich dich ins Feuer! Du dämliches Schweinstück! Du willst mir tun? Ich werd's dir zeigen! Nein!
Okay, anyway, back to The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us writing was really, season 2 was poorly done. I don't think Bella has the acting chops currently, right now. Doesn't mean she can't. As she continues to take jobs and seasons and such, I think she was wrongly casted for this. That's not on her. That's on the studio. They knew what they were doing. And I think from my understanding, they took a revenge tale and made it a Girl Scout storyline. And I think had she had maybe a little bit better writing, maybe seasoned actors such as Pedro, because the first season I think does well because she has Pedro to lean on, who's a seasoned actor. I don't think she is somebody that can carry a show by herself. Not yet. Again, not yet. If she's casted in the right role, I think she could do it. But I had a lot of problems with season 2 with that reason why. And I really don't think they want a season 4. They want 4 seasons. And I think it was announced today they're only getting 1 more season. And originally, my thought was they really were pushing season 4 before the drop in season 2. And season 3 was supposed to be totally told from Abby's point of view, and then season 4 was going to continue the cliffhanger from season 2. By the way, are you willing to wait 3 to 4 years for that cliffhanger to end? I didn't think so, especially how bad the ratings dropped with season 2. So I think it was announced, or it was some Twitter post saying that they are going, season 3 will be the last season they are going to complete it. So that means we're probably going to half of Abby's story in the beginning, like her point of view, and then finishing off of it. So, Yellow Jackets was a disappointment in the last season, but I don't think it's a far disappointment where I would be turned off from it. I love From. I know Toxic doesn't, if he's still in the chat, but I absolutely love From. I am willing to give From a lot of room because I like the acting so much. Its lead, which his name is escaping me from for a moment here, carries that show, and it pulls at my heartstrings all the time. I just wish, for God's sake, they would just, the characters would just fucking communicate to each other. Like, you're about to have a town hall, but you aren't sharing any of the things together. Okay, fine. But they are filming currently right now season 4. I will be covering season 4 when it comes back around. And I'm excited to see where it goes from it. So, thank you, Harold. Thank you. Carries that show. That man does so much work with it being carried on his back. I'm telling you, he is fun. He is too good for that show. Phenomenal. And my husband, and by the way, my husband does not like horror shows, and we binged the first. I was watching the first episode of the first season, and he kind of casually walked by and he's like, "What is this?" I'm like, I told him. He's like, "Okay, I'll sit down for it." We binged the entire first season. We were seated for season 2, season 3 too. So I would definitely think they need to work on communication. Give us more answers, right? Yeah, I'm worried From is lost again. Oh, don't say that. Where they don't know how they're ending it and stringing it along. I'm hoping they learned their lesson from Lost. So we're gonna go with From on this one. All right, video game. Death Stranding, Silent Hill 2 remake, Sorry We're Closed, Mouth Washing, and Slitterhead. I've never played any of these games. I'm playing Alien Isolation right now. What's up, Holland? Harold Rules might have to binge From. You should. You absolutely should. You know what I love about From is, and if Zach is still in the chat, if he can you drop Julie's channel in the chat if you can, or if one of the mods can. So Julie Deep Dives, whose channel was started because of From, who has been on my panelist for men. She's probably one of the sweetest persons I've met online. She actually has the Man in Yellow quite frequently on her live streams discussing the theories of From. Where I touched the tip of the iceberg per episode when we were talking about it, Julie will deep dive for 6 hours on things, and she's so smart, and most of the time she's right about it. So if you want to go really deep into the theories of it, I highly recommend you check out Julie Deep Dives. She's also covering, I think, an HBO show, but her bread and butter is From, and she talks about it weekly. She's got a ton of deep dives into it. She's great. Thank you, Rick, for dropping that. Please go support her. Her From thing, it's just chef kiss on it. So, but that's the thing I love about it. That show has brought such a good community around people. That show has brought people theorizing together. It's almost given life back into the water cooler discussion, right? Because we don't know what's happening. Every week the show is on, I was talking to friends, like casual people who watch, who don't stream, who aren't content creators. Are like, oh, I think this is happening, and oh, I think this is. It's just refreshing to see a show bring that back. It is frustrating at moments. I will give that. It probably gives us more questions than it does answers. But I love the fact that it brings a community together to talk about it. That being said, I haven't played any of these games, so we are going to go didn't play and skip. Okay. Best public domain resurrection. Popeye's Revenge, Popeye the Slayer Man, Shiver Me Timbers, Mousetrap, Screamboat, or Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I'm going with Peter Pan on this one. Mostly because Peter Pan's the only one I've seen, and Peter Pan is different. Good night, Corey. Have a good one. Peter Pan is different than the other in the Pooh-verse. It's pretty dark, pretty heavy. So I was recommended to me by Sam from our Life in Horror. Always always take her recommendations. What's up, Swift? How's it going? So I am going with Peterman, Neverland, Nightmare on this one. Best kill. Oh man. I mean, Final Destination Bloodlines did say fuck them kids. Peter Pan is. You don't know the theory about Peter Pan, Rick? Before this movie came out, the theory is that Hook is actually the good guy in the story. Peter Pan is the villain who's trying to keep these kids from growing up, where Hook is trying to rescue the lost boys and return them to their family. Best kill. It's got to be in Terrifier 3, right? It's got to be in Terrifier 3. This is the most impactful kill. I gotta. Let's see. In the violent. Yeah. I forgot about the freak accident that kills in the coffee table. I'd say it's gotta be Terrifier, right? Anta from Terrifier 3. I think the whole Terrifier movie. I think I'm gonna have to go with the whole Terrifier movie. Movie and scene. Enter none if you want to skip. I think it's gonna be the entire kill list of Terrifier 3. I think so. No, I'm not. Terrifier 3. Were there good ones in Final Destination? I didn't watch it yet. Just the one where they drop a piano on a kid. Especially the Santa kill. Either way. What is the grading here? I didn't find out. We are voting the Chainsaw Awards. It is open till the 20th, and then the actual Chainsaw Awards is happening in October, and I'm hoping to have a couple other horror content creators if they want to come on. We all dress up kind of like an Oscar, glam it up a little bit, and we watch the Chainsaw Awards together. So that should be a good time. We used to have a. Oh yeah. And then I had.
I'd fuck you.
No, Mrs. Claus would shank me in my sleep.
My wife's dead.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was confused of what you were asking. What is the great? Okay. So I think it's gonna have to be that. I think it's got to be the entire Terrifier thing. Those are the fun kills, right? I can't think of anything else that's kind of memorable of a character being killed that's not expected, right? We're going with that. I am not a robot. Submit. All right. Thank you for voting. Awesome. Oh, I get a little sticker that says I voted. That's cute. That's really cute. Okay. That's it for today, guys. I wanted to share that with you. And again, long leg death. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Or he's like banging. But I still think Terrifier 3 has a little bit more memorable ones, especially the Santa Claus one on it. Again, the polling will close on the 20th for it, and then we will have the actual Chainsaw Awards in October. I'm gonna have a bunch of panelists. We're gonna dress up, glam it out a little bit, and then we're gonna watch the awards and check it out. So tomorrow, the guys and I are going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 5. We're going to be watching the new trailer that supposedly will be dropping tomorrow. Bloody Disgusting reported on it, so I wanted to, so then I know for sure it's legit, right? If Bloody Disgusting is going to report on it, then I would hope it's legit. Thursday, we start our coverage of The Institute, which will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Institute is based off a Stephen King book. Come and check it out. It is playing on MGM Plus, so that, and then Friday we are back with Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 8, the finale of Season 3. I'm very excited about the continuance of Stranger Things as we got going on. We're going to have a Stranger Things Deadpool closer to Season 5. We're going to tier list some characters. We're going to figure out some theories. We're going to deep dive into it once we get through Season 4. So please tune in. And again, if you're watching this on a rewatch, leave me a comment. Let me know what you would have voted for. and stuff. And I will make sure that the link for this is in the description below as always with timestamps. And then, yeah, that'll be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering, it'll be live reaction to it. So currently finishing the book in Instant. It's a doozy, I will say that. I enjoyed it when I read it back in the day. But again, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, please tune in. Live reaction to the season 5 trailer. This should be a good one. We're going to talk about theories and stuff. Until next time, y'all, you know what to do. Stay